Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer, and this is the Road to the Record, where I work to achieve mastery of 10 games in a hunt for the best score of the decathlon. If you like what you see, remember to hit that like button. You want to see more? Hit subscribe. Let the games begin. This is Pro Cycling Manager 2018 Career Mode, episode 50. We've hit a landmark, 50 episodes now into the series. Racing in the Pro Continental Series, and we are visiting a couple big races right now. The Tour of Norway, a Pro Continental race, and the Amgen Tour of California, both going on simultaneously. One team at one team visiting the other, and one team decimated by injury, with half the members missing out in the race that finished up a couple days prior to the start of this one. Elia Viviani is here, Mohoric, Ulysses, Christoph. There's some big names here. It's kind of a sprint stage, but there are definitely a few punchy climbs at this one that will leave riders behind. So we're going to skip forward till the last third of this race, and we'll get things going. Van Ginneken right now up there in the standings, but will he hang on again? There's only 4 riders for this one, as I lost a few guys to injury here recently, and the rest of the team is at the Amgen Tour of California.
Some team managers mustn't appreciate the fact that there is a breakaway, given that the pack has increased its speed.
2 minutes to the breakaway group. Everybody in the field is still there. We're about to hit a Category 2 climb, and up we go. I'm at ×2 speed. I'm going to push that up a bit more here in a little bit, but let's see our way through this climb and see that at an 80, well, we're struggling a little bit, but I'm going to try. Van Ginneken, how far back are you? Okay, Van Ginneken, we need to push a little harder. Let's try 82. I don't want you to slip all the way out the back. Just take it easy up the climb. I don't want to waste Veldeman either, because I know Veldeman could get there if he's on his own. So I'm taking a risk to try to get Van Ginneken to be part of the final sprint. Otherwise, Vervecki and Veldeman would be my obvious go-tos. Just got to make sure we don't slip back too far. Let's go back to ×2 here. And it looks like we've made it. I think we're okay. Ooh. A little more. Ooh, Garrison struggling over the top, but he should recover a little bit. Oh, we gotta split. Come on. There's the field. Get back up there. There we go. Don't get dropped. Come on. Last little uphill section. Let's push back forward towards the front of the field where we belong. Come on, Van Ginneken. I don't want to leave you behind here. Veldeman's doing his job, doing it well, and you're both suffering for it. Boy, the field is really pushing right now. Just 75 riders left in the peloton. 3 riders left off the front. 45 seconds is their lead. Do we need to go into hold position already? Garrison's getting pretty tired, though Vervecki is looking strong. Veldeman and Van Ginneken did recover slightly here, but they're still at the back of the field. I expected the intensity on the climbs. I didn't expect it for most of the distance in between, but there we go. Finally back up to the front. Let's speed things back up as we move forward. And let's set everyone now to 88. Little climb there. We've got another steep little punchy one here coming up in just a moment. We'll slow it down to ×2. Here we go. Base of it. And up they go. Garrison is done. And Veldeman and Van Ginneken not hanging on so well. Garrison will watch him. Breakaway group's caught, by the way, and the peloton is shrinking, and Garrison looks like he's about to leave it behind as well. And he does. We'll set him to auto. Okay, so then there were 3. Honestly, I don't think Van Ginneken's gonna make it. And Veldeman himself is pretty tired. I'm wondering if I should put Veldeman on Vervecki and kind of go for the one-horse trick. Just try to get to the end here. They are recovering a little bit on this descent. Heart rate's down, so we'll give it a chance for now. Vervecki again he's just fine on his own right now. And actually, I think he'll be fine on his own over the top. So maybe, just maybe, Veldeman can protect Van Ginneken enough to get Van Ginneken into the sprint at the end. Vervecki could lead him out. I mean, it's only 57 riders in the peloton, so there very well could be a lot of sprinters that have been left behind. Here's the last little uphill section prior to that final climb, though I suppose there is still a little bit right at the end as well. Whew, steep at the base. Steep at the base. We need to be up front, which we are, so that's good. And they've recovered a fair bit, so hopefully those 11 riders don't come back on. They're only half a minute behind, which means they're just off the back, because that's to the front rider. Be a real shame, all that work, and then the group picks up in size quite a bit. Alright, here we go. We round that corner, go under that bridge, and then things are going to go uphill pretty quickly from there. Here we go. The climb is on. Vervecki, he'll be fine. Let's set him to an 89. I don't want him to get dropped. Van Ginneken, apparently we need to set an 89 too. He's going back quickly. And those 11 riders did get back on, so it's at 68 now. Hopefully they're too tired and they won't make it to the top. We're going to get past the steepest section now. Now we can set him to a 90 so he doesn't get dropped here. Veldeman's too tired to do much of his own work now, so he's all for Van Ginneken at this point. We're at the back. 2 riders off the front, by the way. 4 riders off the front.
We've got 15 kilometers to the finish line.
It's too small of a gap, though. Veldeman is done, so Van Ginneken is suddenly on his own. And that's trouble, because Van Ginneken can't make it on his own. He's way too weak. Oh, there's the top. Oh, he's so close. So close, yet so far. 14 kilometers to go, and it's all Vervecki now. 23 riders, chasing 2, chasing 4. I still think the winner's going to come from this group of 23. However, who is ahead? Mohoric and Kengert with Eiking, Spilak, Nielands, Vanendert now joining them. So now it's 6 riders off the front. It would have been nicer if we would have caught the 2 than those 2 catching the 4, because that does give them a slim chance of hanging on. It's 30 seconds, and we are just 5.5 kilometers to the finish line, but there they are. Here's that last little uphill section, and here's an acceleration. Need to make sure that we are in it.
Acceleration by Vanendert.
1 rider dropped from that group, and they're still getting away. They are still getting away, so I need to keep up this acceleration.
A group of riders has come a cropper, but they all look ready to set off again. And there goes the mad burst for the final sprint.
into the final kilometer, and now the sprint is on, and 5 of those riders do hang on. Mohoric wins the stage, Eiking second, Spilak, Nielands, I'm out of energy, Van den Dert, that's your top 5. Viviani wins the sprint, so he hung on. Molberger, there's Ulysses, he hung on as well. De Klerk hung on, and Vervecchi, 15th. It's in a good place. We're going to have a small number of riders left, so that's good. Van Ginneken, not too bad. He'll drop down the standings a bit. That's 33rd. Here's Veldeman coming in just behind in 36th. And Ian Garrison coming up on the end. 2 kilometers to go here. And he is pretty low on energy, but we'll sprint this out. Try to beat our group anyway. There you go. Over the top of your group for 63rd, which made absolutely no difference on anything and probably wasted energy. Good job, me. Stage results. The first 29 riders all given the same time. So for Vervecchi there in 15th across the line on the same time as the others. And then we see a pretty big drop from there. Van Ginneken in that next group. Veldeman in that next group. Back down the road, so that will affect the standings considerably. So Spilak, Viviani, Mohoric up into the lead, so Bahrain Merida with control of the group, but Dimension Data wants a group Gobert all in contention. So Vervecchi in that 10-second back group, and 28 actually of the 29 riders now left in contention for this race. Amgen Tour of California, stage number 6. It's a time trial. Just 20 kilometers, it's a short one. And we are in Folsom, California. Home of one of the most iconic songs of all time, the Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash, as in the home, the site of Folsom Prison. Wachtendorf got a good start, kind of set the tone for us on what it was going to take to be successful on this time trial. And for that would be an effort level of 74. And if they're feeling really good, pushing to 75 for a little while. 39th overall, Marini 30th overall. A little bit better, a little bit faster. Bax is 20th. Simpson is 19th. None of them are good time trialists, so the fact that they're within a minute and a half of Taylor Phinney in the lead right now is, well, not bad. Here's the big climb of the day. You can see right now Swerble being on it. Swerble, not a time trialist, so if he's anywhere near the top 20, would be a good thing. He'll probably be somewhere in that 20 to 30 range, maybe 35. I think he's got about a similar rating to Marini. You can see he's got a little deficit, but after the checkpoint here, a lot of this is downhill. Once we turn this corner, it's mostly downhill to the finish, with one little uphill section just before the final K. So you gain back a little bit of energy, but it's not much. And that's kind of the main reason why we're kind of stuck on that 74. We can only afford a little deficit, but we can see we can push him now a little bit harder. There's that little uphill section, and then it's downhill to the finish, and we can accelerate through. And 26th, nice. Not a bad time for Swerble. All right, so we've got Conchi and Osorio left. Not a huge gap between those two in terms of placings. They're both inside the top 40 overall. It'd be nice if I could move them up a bit, as we're not looking to pick up any points from the overall standings right now after such a good start to this race. Oh, it was so frustrating on that last stage that we just were so close to making it over the top, but small split, big gap, huge drop in placings, and now we're back to square one of trying to go for a stage win when a stage win's not really in the cards for a team such as ours. So time trial here, 71 for Conchi. Conchi should be able to put in a good time. At this point, now that others are coming in, Swirble's all the way down to 45th already. Everybody else 50s, 70s, 80s, way down the minor placings. Of course, it's still not huge gaps. I mean, we're talking 2.5 minutes. And Conchi's 13 minutes down in 36th place. So we don't expect huge movement in the standings. But here goes Conchi. Here's the big climb of the day. He's going to push a 75 through here. With his climbing ability, with his time trial ability, he could maybe put in a good time. So looking now at the finish standings, Finney's all the way down to 9th place already. You got Dan McClay up there, Ludvigsen, Nicholas Arndt, William Barta, and Cataneo. Conchi, 19th, half a minute down. At a 71, will be lucky to be in the top 20, really, but that could help move him up the standings a bit. And he's actually doing pretty good here. I think we can push a 76. Back to a 75. We need that little bit extra for this uphill section. There we go. Now we can accelerate to the end. And 99. 17th. Okay, not bad. And perfect timing as Osorio's getting started. He's a 67 with a +2, so we'll push a 75 for him. We're going to go ×4, though. There's not much to this time trial. It's pretty basic. Here's the uphill section. His deficit's a little bit large here. Hopefully he could recover this. He's decent on the downhill. Through the checkpoint, 27th, minute 13 down. You can see just how important. We'll slow him down for the ending. He's in 23rd overall at 8 minutes, so it's going to be difficult for him to make up much ground, but it's also going to be difficult for him to lose much ground here on the end. There's that last little uphill, and then we can start to accelerate from here and through to the end. And 26th, minute 54 down. Not bad. Let's go ahead and speed up to the end. We got a lot of riders left to go. Stefan Kuhn now on top, ahead of actual time trialist specialist Tony Martin. Casper Asgreen, who's suddenly on the scene here, starting to make a name for himself, and in real life too. He's starting to make a name for himself this season as a relative unknown previously. There's Max Schachmann now in 5th. Kwiatkowski comes in 3rd. We've got a good half a minute gap to those top two. So Kung and Martin. Dylan Toynes also coming in just 29 seconds behind. Chris Froome's all the way down in 7th. That's weak for him. Alaphilippe in the top 10. How did he pull that off? He is not known as a time trialist here. And Dillier rounds out the top 10. So Stefan Kuhn takes the victory. Alaphilippe hangs on to the race lead by 14 seconds over Dylan Toynes. That's a much closer gap than before. Froome in 3rd. No idea why he put in such a bad time trial by his standards. Chavez 4th, was nowhere near the top 10. Kwiatkowski, Schachmann, Bowman. There's Valgren. Let's see. Mountain climbers. It's Visho hanging on there. In the sprinters, Toynes has the lead over Kwiatkowski, 1 point ahead of Alaphilippe, 10 points ahead of Froome, Schachmann, Harada. It's definitely not for the sprinters. There are no sprinters in the top 10 at all. Too much climbing. Hershey has the best young rider jersey. We had that for a time. Osorio now 5th in that competition, 5.5 minutes behind Hershey. And Hershey is not in the top 10 anymore, so we're still a long ways down. Team standings. We're not even in the top 10 there either anymore. Yikes. All right, on to the results. Conchi 39th was the final. Osorio was 46th. That does hurt. That does hurt a bit that we couldn't do better, but I have no good time trial list to compete at the World Tour level. This team's going to need a lot of reshaping over the next couple of years if we're going to get into the World Tour. Finding a way to be competitive, but only at the level we're at. So Osorio now 24th, so he hangs on to a spot in the top 25. A minute and a half clear. Just 3 seconds behind Stefan Kung, who just won that time trial. Conchi is 35th. We are completely out of those competitions. That competition. This competition. So yeah, all we can go for is that stage victory in the final stage, something we came so close to in stage number 1 with a 2nd place. Giro d'Italia update. We've got overall standings at this point. It's Nairo Quintana on top over Ivan Sosa, and Vincenzo Nibali was 2nd on that stage. Stage ending in Imola. So just one stage left here in the Tour of California. Tour of Norway still got a little ways to go. Stage number 3, Tour of Norway. Peloton's down to just 23 riders already as we're approaching a very punchy section of this course. There's not a lot of elevation change, but it is short and steep. Veldeman about to get dropped. Van Ginneken about to get dropped. Veldeman again on protection of Van Ginneken duties. Garrison actually has just made his way back into the group. Wow, okay. He was set to auto. He was dropped a little while ago. And his group was able to get back onto the back, which is amazing because the pace has been crazy. There's been lots of crashes. It absolutely poured, just torrential downpour for a good while early on in this race that caused a lot of crashes. 3 of my 4 riders were caught up in one of those crashes. A lot of riders were behind the group, had to catch back up, and then the pace has been on ever since. Main reason for it was breakaway group was sizable, 16 riders, and those 16 ended up with a huge lead after so many crashes in the peloton and none in the breakaway group. And so the field has been chasing hard, trying to get back on, and here goes Veldeman out the back with Van Ginneken, but I'm going to change these guys to auto here. Van Ginneken auto here, and let them work together, try to get back on. 26 riders now. Garrison also on the verge of getting dropped, but the 2 hardest climbs are now done. We've got 2 more still intense climbs. Vervecchi should be fine. Should be. Garrison, though, here right on his wit's end. Let's go ahead and put him back on protection duty, though, for Vervecchi for whatever he's got left. I'm not worried about his placing. He's in 63rd. Vervecchi, though, protecting a position for the final overall standings. So we ride for him the rest of the way here. 24 kilometers left to go.
Whoa, there's an attack from inside the breakaway group.
And I think that was the finish line. Yes. Yes, it was. We're going to hit this loop now twice. So we are now on a looping course, 2 laps. And this is that final climb that we're going to have to navigate again one more time. And somehow the full group is back together again. I'm going to switch these guys up, and Veldeman is now going to be protected by Van Ginneken, because Van Ginneken
The finish line is getting close. The riders have
got
just
nothing
passed
left.
the 15 kilometers right
So I'm going to try to ride for Veldeman, and Veldeman could at least lead out for Vecchi.
The riders are entering the last 10 kilometers of the stage.
There's that finish line, and the bell lap. Ding, 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 ding. 1 to go.
A rider has just suffered a puncture.
11 kilometers. 34 riders in the peloton. The break is still away. We're catching those riders one by one, but we're 3.5 minutes down on whoever's in the lead. So the breakaway is going to win the stage today. So this is now kind of down to minor placings, but fighting for the overall, and we are seeing an attack here. Mohoric, Nealons, Christoph, Bossman, Aaron Burrow, Pascalon are all attacking. So for Vecchi, don't get dropped here.
Counter-attack by Alexander Christoph.
Watch out, a team leader is falling behind.
Hang on to that group. Hang on to that group. 2 riders getting away, but they've got too far to go. It's just 2. If it was 6 riders,
Only 5
6 strongest riders, they probably would have hung on. Now, the idea to protect Veldeman is paying off because Van Ginneken has done it successfully. I'm going to set you back to auto, and I'm going to put you on protect now with just 6K to go. And actually, we're going to switch that to a follow here momentarily. 5 kilometers. Van Ginneken's been dropped. Down to 23 left in the group. And let's go ahead and change the orders here. Set you guys both to 99, and you're going to follow Veldeman. And Veldeman, we're going to use our gel here in a moment. $2.9K to go. We're catching more riders from the break. Veldeman, oh, come on, already done. Daniel Arnez, here's the top. For Vecchi, pushing for the line. His sprint out-sprinted by actual sprinters like Elia Viviani, their Spilak. But there you go, just a few guys left off the front, and Vervecchi with a good, solid finish. Top 10 in 7th place. 7th place for him at a small group finish. Veldeman comes in with it in 21st, and that's about all there was left at the finish was 20 to 25 riders. Screen here says 27, but that's not always accurate. It could be, though, as we were catching riders from the break. That's going to further shrinken that top group. And Veldeman will move up a little bit. Van Ginneken in 33rd loses a little time again. They're definitely out of reach now in about that place. Overall, maybe 40, 50. Garrison comes in 48th. So overall, I have a good day for just 4 riders for the craziness of the stage, and a very, very punchy stage.
And here are the race highlights that we've selected for you.
Breakaway wins it today. Got a Danish rider. Oh, sorry, Norwegian rider winning the Tour of Norway, so good for him. Good for the small continental team here. That's Denmark. Flags are so dang close to one another. Okay, couple Belgian riders, 2nd and 3rd for Lotto Soudal. Yves Lampard. Oof. He was in the break. What is he doing in the breakaway? He must have lost time. Previous stage. And good pickup here will put him back into contention. There's no way he was that far down, but 2:16 is the gap. Vervecchi finishes 4th in the sprint. And that group, Veldeman is included. and they go down through 30th. So yes, it was. But some of these riders were the remnants of the break that we scooped up in the final kilometers. So the overall now, Spilak, Viviani, Mohoric still on top, Eiking still just behind them, and then so the top 4 is the same. Vervecki now up to 10th, and it's down to 17 riders that are left. So we went from 28 down to 17. So 11 riders dropped from contention. And you can see 4 of them were in that next group on the road, which included Veldeman. And Veldeman's group now, just 4 riders left of that that were included at the front. And then here's that further group. So Van Ginneken 31st now, Veldeman 22nd. But for Vecchi into the top 10, but we're still very much in the midst of a battle, as there are still quite a few riders in contention that can go up or down, with a couple stages left to go. Eighth as a team, surrounded by some World Tour teams, so that's a pretty good place to be. Bakkenbuk's looking good. Sponsor confidence is looking good. But again, 1 stage left in the Amgen Tour of California with a win, a stage objective. And we managed 2nd. And dang it, that's close. But that's still failure. So we'll see how much the effect is going to be of that fail. It's kind of our last major objective of the season. And with a couple months still to go until we sign a new contract for next year, I think we're in pretty good shape on that sponsor confidence, and hopefully we get some good offers, because we are going to be looking to move away. But this final stage of the Amgen Tour of California is a sprint stage, so it will not affect the overall. Marcel Kittel is here. Halverson is here. Andre Greipel is here. Degenkolb is here. Trentin is here. Ackerman, of course, seen as the favorite. A lot of good sprinters still in this race. Osorio looks like he'll just hang on to a top 25 in 24th place, and that's a good result. But it's a what could have been result as well as we enter this final stage. There's plenty of climbing to do on this sprint stage, but it's so far before the end that really just this final Category 2 climb is the only one that's going to do much to split the field, I would imagine, as the pace is going to be relatively slow through all of these climbs, and certainly through that first climb. But I believe we'll have the entire peloton still together, or most of it at least, by about here, and then we'll leave some riders behind over these series of climbs, but most everybody should get to the end on this one. Probably a good 80 for that final bunch sprint. 60K left to go. The field just split after a crash. Up until that moment, there was only a single rider off the back. And, oh, look who it is. Brecht Wachtendorf could not make it over the top of this double climb here, this Category 1, followed by a Category 3 immediately. Got dropped. He was in protection duty. Pace was hot enough, and he was the first to go. There are others well behind now, but that crash happened just at the top of this descent, and that left a good number of riders behind. But we're back to 122 as we hit the final categorized climb of the day, and you can see at 87s we're actually struggling to keep pace. Simpson likely to get dropped soon. Swerble, Conchi might not make it over the top. And we could be down to a trio of our 2 sprinters along with our race leader of Osorio. Here we go, on to that final climb. It's short, it's steep. We are going at 12% gradient here, but it's gonna level off here for a little bit, but it's gonna go up again. Simpson should give us a good view at what's going on near the back of the field. It's still bunched tight, It's not stretching too much right now, so the pace has settled somewhat. Definitely going to see some splits here. My guess earlier was 80. We'll see if I get that correct. Pace not too hot, so I don't think too many riders are actually going to get dropped off here. But there's still some climbs to go, and I think the pace is going to come up here pretty quick. There we go. Simpson out the back. And some others. It's at 105 right now, but they are not done climbing yet. They hit the top, and we start climbing again. Osorio's fine, but Marini looks like he is done. Swervel's been helping him out, but Swervel is barely hanging on. Swervel's still trying to help Marini stay in. It's 93 riders now. Pretty close to my guess at the moment, and there's still one more punchy climb, and we could still lose another 10 riders or so. 15 or so. Swervel, Marini trying to make their way back up the field.
They obviously don't have anybody in the breakaway group.
Sliding backwards, 92, 89, 88. We'll call that just about. Just about. One last little uphill, but it's so brief. I doubt we're going to lose any more riders. And there you go. So Marini, Swervel, Conchi, Bax, Osorio left in the group. We've only had 2 riders dropped, and the peloton is a fair bit shrunken. Bax is looking pretty good. So Bax is probably going to be the main sprinter today. Swervel and Marini, I doubt they're going to be able to be involved in this. There's still 6 riders 3 minutes away. They're going to be tough to catch. We need a stage win, so we can't just win the sprint. Winning the sprint really won't do much for us. In 89, not enough, so the pace is quite hot here. Swervel looks like he's about to go out the back. So we are still losing riders because of the pace and trying to chase down the brakes. So Swervel, let's go ahead and set Swervel to auto as he's about to go out the back with about 4 other riders. Just hanging on right now, and others also dropping. The field is stretching out. Swervel just hanging on. Looks like we could be dropping to about 60 riders soon. If the pace stays hot enough. It's 1:45 to the breakaway. 85 riders. Swervel now out the back. Marini. Yeah, Marini is toast as well, so he will not be involved in the sprint today. And here we go. We have 3 riders left at the front. I need to get reorganized here. Conchi. Conchi is done here, 35th. Bax being protected by Conchi. Okay, Bax. Boy, oh boy. Do I risk Osorio and that 24th placement overall by leading out Bax? Or do I use Bax to make sure Osorio gets there and go for the overall standing? Bax isn't going to win this sprint, so we'll do that. Let's keep Osorio alive here. Bax will protect him. This group is, I think, going to shatter. I think we're going to be down to 20 or 30 riders possibly at the pace we're going. Just from the look of my team, which of course is not as strong as other teams, so maybe we'll still hang on. I did say 60 a moment ago, and that probably is going to be a bit more accurate. Now Bax is done, so Osorio himself just hanging on with 10 kilometers to go, and those 6 riders still 1.5 minutes away. I think they've done it. They're going to win. And there's Simpson, but that's ahead of us. So there's a couple laps around town here, and that's a group that's about to get lapped. Minute 15 to the break, and no, we are not catching them rapidly enough. They've got nearly a full kilometer's gap. Bax has recovered somewhat, so we've given up the chase. Yep. Gap's opening up. Breakaway wins the day yet again. Wow, we're seeing a lot of that here lately. And actually, in real life, we've seen a lot of that this past year, where we had not seen it for a long time. Go ahead and use your gels as we have about 3 kilometers to go.
There goes the sprint. The strongmen are giving their all.
Osorio, we're going to start moving forward here.
His aim was to win it, and he didn't.
And there's our sprint. Back's going for it, but he's going to run out of energy super early. There's Marini, the actual sprinter. He runs out of energy. And Osorio. So Godon, Sotsberg, Ludvigsen, Impey in the break. Wow. Marcel Kittel wins the sprint over Trentin Halverson. And my guys are just there in the pack. 24, 40, 61, 65. Still a pretty big pack in the end. 71 riders make it to the finish line together. And that'll wrap up the Amgen Tour of California. That does guarantee 24th place for Osorio. No way he's going down any placings unless those top 6 pick up that kind of time. But we were pretty close behind them, and he had a pretty good gap back to 25th, so fairly certain that he is still secure in 24th place. Ironically, he finishes the stage in 24th place. Their gap, minute and a half. Pretty good gain. So the general, Alaphilippe wins overall, Dylan Toynes and Chris Froome on the podium. And Osorio finishes 24th. Conchi finishes 34th. Swerble down at 81st. No jerseys. We do get a top 25 overall in a World Tour race. So we'll see how this looks going into that next day. Giro d'Italia update. Caleb Ewan wins the sprint stage over Gaviria and Bauhaus. Giant Shimano EPM is going to replace them, so they're going to be out. We're going to stay live long enough to get to our tomorrow cutoff and see what happens to that sponsor confidence, as I failed in the objective even though I had an amazing second place in stage 1 at a World Tour race. And while certain people are going to look at the podium and look at who's in the top 5 and whatnot, others are only going to look at who won. Who won the stage, who won the overall, and everything else is insignificant. Therefore, the sponsors could still do the same. They wanted a stage win. We didn't get it. Tour of Norway, stage 4 coming up. And have we gone on to a next day? No. It's still the same day, so we still have tomorrow before we're going to get feedback on that one. Meanwhile, we have stage 4 of 5 for the Tour of Norway. It's a sprint stage, but you can see it's punchy at the end, so it might not necessarily come down to the sprinters, especially if they don't time it right.
10 kilometers remaining.
10K left here in stage 4 out of 5, and I somehow accidentally got Veldeman into the breakaway. Thought about pulling back, but was like, you know what? What the heck? What the heck? Doesn't hurt. The breakaway still has a lead with just 10k to go. It's down to 45 seconds, and Veldeman is the strongest rider in the breakaway. So at this point, the other guys are no longer giving him the time of day, so I think they're about to get caught. It's just 51 riders giving chase, and I've still got all three of my guys there. 35 seconds now, and Veldeman, yeah, no support. So, ooh, now they've given support, and it's so close to the end. Oh my goodness. Okay, I need to set my sprint train up here, and it'll be now minus Veldeman. I expected Veldeman. Look at the profile. There's this punchy climb, and then another K or so, but it's really short. So Van Ginneken is the sprinter. I suppose without Veldeman, I've got to use Vervecki, but he shouldn't have a problem getting to the finish. So Garrison will use your gel now and just about get you going. 95. Meanwhile, Veldeman, let's use your gel now too, because if you guys hang on, it's going to be from the front here. 20 seconds. They're about to get reeled in. 15 seconds. I'm going to have Veldeman fall in line right behind Garrison as they come up. Ooh, where? Come on, Vervecki. Here's the climb.
It's in such percentages that the strongest can create some gaps.
Vervecki, I don't know why Vervecki is lagging so far behind. When you fall in line here, and Vervecki needs to find an opening. What is going on with Vervecki?
The sprint is on. The riders are setting themselves up.
And now Vervecki has no energy. Slot in behind Van Ginneken. This is it. Sprint. We're back to Veldeman. Veldeman's our best chance. There goes the win for Christoph over Batisek. 8 seconds clear. I doubt they'll end up with a time gap. Veldeman 5th, ahead of Viviani. That's nice, I guess. Van Ginneken 13th. I get all four guys in that final group, that small final group, just 30 riders or so. See what that does to the standings. Was a strange one. Garrison ends up my top sprinter in 7th. Veldeman, though, technically ends up the best one, but it was more from the break than any... It was just odd. It was an odd finish. But Christoph takes the win, and that's natural. And another Norwegian winning a Norwegian stage, so good for him. But yeah, Veldeman, Garrison, Van Ginneken, Vervecki, all up there. No time gap through 47th. So how are we looking now? Vervecki still in 10th. Veldeman in 23rd. Christoph moves ahead of him, ironically. Veldeman picked up a couple seconds out on course, but then Christoph picked up 10 seconds, so this group of four is now split up. So Veldeman moves both up and down. Van Ginneken in 30th. One stage to go. And we'll also catch the profile here. Did it change? It did drop. It did drop for that failure, but it's still in the happy zone. And the rest of the season, there's nothing major coming up. So as long as we can pull a few decent results, that sponsor confidence should go up the rest of the way. Stage 5, another sprint one, but a little bit punchy. I'll see you in the final couple kilometers. Final 20 kilometers of this race. Still got all 4 riders here. Peloton's at 119 riders. Breakaway group of 4 is nearly caught. And we've got 5 times over this climb. This little climb, it's a double punchy, it's split up. And then there's one little false flat right here before you go over, and then a little bit of respite before we do it all over again. We have 2 times left through of the 5 here on this looping course now with 14 kilometers to go. See, that was the finish line right there. So you finished just before going up again. Garrison, not much left in the tank for him, so he's not going to last much longer here with 12K to go. I will form up my train just at the top here.
Attack with the finishing line within reach. The pack is back on level terms with the breakaway group.
Breakaway group reeled in with that little attack, and let's go ahead and set this 99s. Van Ginneken's the sprinter. However, Vervecki is the one we're trying to protect in 10th, so he's actually going to follow Van Ginneken. And Ginneken's going to follow the lead out of Veldeman, and Veldeman's going to follow Garrison. Garrison, 10K to go, and just that little double climb. So how... See, I only have 2 guys to lead out, and I want to get up over the climb. So we're going to wait until we get just before the climb for Garrison to move up. Meanwhile, Garrison, use your gel. And then on the... Wow, you are so slow. What the heck? You just slide backwards as everyone decides to follow you? He was in a nice happy position moments ago. Boy, that is a technical finish. Lot of going around. Okay, now we're in position at the right time. Here is that climb. 6 kilometers to go. Veldeman. Garrison gets us up over the top. Veldeman, though, he's going to have his work cut out for him. 96. Garrison's done. Veldeman. It's an awful lot of time to lead out Van Ginneken. Ooh, we've got a breakaway group of 5. We've got a breakaway group of 5. Here's that last little uphill coming. I'm going to put Vervecki behind here so Vervecki can lead out Van Ginneken, and we can go for a stage win here. And then Vervecki could get the the overall, right? Iking is, well, 3rd overall. I want you to just hold place here, Veldeman. I can get stage and overall possibly if we can stay with these guys and let them lead it out. Okay, now we're talking. Okay, Veldeman, go back into attack. It's 1.9 kilometers now, and it's downhill for this next little bit.
And they're off. It's going to be very fast.
Okay, now we all sprint 1K, and yes, we've done it. So these 5, Veldeman to the front for the stage win. It's not Van Ginneken, but it is Veldeman. Wim Veldeman takes the win, Van Ginneken takes 3rd, and Vervecki takes 5th. They'll be on the same time, presumably. And then here's the chase group, 30 seconds behind. They better give us that time gap. Are you kidding me? I will be so mad if they put us all on the same time. We broke away quite a few kilometers before the end. Vervecki actually being shown in a group behind now together. Reclassified Garrison back with the main field. Chase group, but here it's showing 36 and 10 chasing. Oh boy, what are they going to do for this one? Do they give us that time gap? Wim Veldeman, at least stage win, that much is for sure. Van Ginneken in 3rd, that much is for sure. Do we get a time gap? Please, oh please, oh please. Spilak in 2nd, Iking in 4th. The 5-man break succeeded. But will they give us A gap. Oh, come on, come on, come on, come on.
And just in case you
What's
missed
it
them,
gonna be?
here are the race
What's it gonna be? Let's go with the results. I'm out of time here. Come on. Time gap, time gap, time gap, time gap. Let's see it. Let's see it. Screw you, game. I hate how it does that. There was 30 seconds. 5 guys, and then 30 seconds to everybody else. No time gap. Screw you. Spilak wins overall over Viviani and Mohoric with that second place. Eiking gets 4th overall. Vervecki stays in 10th. Just 16 riders left, so one more was dropped, I believe. Veldeman takes 22nd overall. Then Ginnikin takes 28th. We do get the stage win. We do get screwed over on the overall, though. 30 seconds. That is a significant time gap. Not given. Results for the Giro. Nairo Quintana still on top. He won that stage. Sosa, wow, look at that. 1, 2, and 3. Further establishes their 1, 2, and 3. Well, that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. And remember, I'm aiming for the best of the best. So if you're ready to join me on my journey, hit subscribe. And tune in next time on my Road to the Record. Bye for now.